Hi everyone, I'm Chef Susie with Escoffier Online, and I'm here today to make the winning entry from our Valentine's Day dessert competition. And the entry was submitted by Janet Lee Scott, and the dessert is a German chocolate whoopie pie with a Valentine's Day theme. So thanks, Janet, for your wonderful entry, and also thanks to everyone who participated. It was such a hard choice picking the winner, but thanks again, everyone did a great job. So knowing that, let's get started. I have my butter creaming on my stand mixer, and I'm going to be adding my granulated sugar. Then I'm going to be scraping this down. Once this is scraped down and well incorporated, I'm going to be adding my egg yolks and vanilla. So I'm going to add my egg yolks just 2 at a time. I'm going to scrape this down again, and then I'm going to add the rest. Just want to make sure that everything is well incorporated and you don't have any lumps of butter or sugar down there. I'm just mixing this kind of on a medium-low speed. So we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our egg yolks. And I'm going to be scraping this down again. The next ingredient I'm going to add is the melted sweet chocolate, the dark chocolate, and it's got water mixed in, so it's a water and chocolate mixture. So we're going to be adding that next, and then we'll be adding our flour, our baking soda, and our buttermilk. So I just chopped up my chocolate, and then I poured the boiling water over the chocolate, and it melted it nicely. And there were a few little pieces, and I took a whisk to mix them all in. So now that our chocolate is in, I'm going to go ahead and start the mixer again. And I've got my flour and my baking soda, which I've sifted with my salt too. And I'm going to be alternating this with the buttermilk. This just helps it blend in a lot better. And as soon as this is all mixed together, I'm going to scrape the bowl down again. And this is so important because you could have some of that butter and egg mixture sitting in the bottom. And this is the best way to get everything mixed in properly. Otherwise you could get pockets of butter in your whoopie pie, and that's not good. Okay, we're just gonna set this aside. And we're gonna start our egg whites. And be mindful when you're whisking egg whites, you want to make sure that your bowl and your whip are dry and clean and free of grease, because that's going to affect the way that the whites whip. And these are at room temperature. So we're just going to put this on a medium high, and we're going to whisk this until they're kind of a light peak, not a stiff peak, because it's going to have to fold into this batter mixture that we made. Now that the whites are whipped to a nice soft peak, we're going to fold them into the batter mixture. Okay, I've got my batter mixture. Before I fold my whites in, I'm just going to make sure this is all incorporated. Add a little piece of butter there on the top. I'm going to get everything mixed in. kind of going all the way to the bottom. And now I'm just going to add this egg white mixture. I'm just going to gently fold these together. These egg whites are going to be adding a lot of lightness to the batter. And when I'm finished incorporating this, I'm going to put it in a muffin pan, which I've sprayed with some vegetable oil. And then I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the top springs back when touched, or a toothpick inserted comes out clean. So the batter is nice and smooth, almost well incorporated here. And it's kind of a light batter. It's got some airiness to it. So it's just going to add a nice smooth texture to the whoopie pie. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my pans. And I'm going to fill these about 3/4 of the way up, and that's what I usually do for any muffin or cupcake that I make. Okay, I'm going to put these in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now we're going to make the filling for the German chocolate whoopie pies. I've got my egg yolks in my bowl here, and I'm just going to whisk them. Okay. Now I'm going to be adding my evaporated milk. We're just going to be whisking all this together. And we're mixing it in the bowl now, but we're going to be putting it on the stove top as soon as we get everything incorporated. I've got my vanilla. Then we're going to be mixing in our granulated sugar. And then our butter, which is at room temperature, so it'll mix in nicely. And if you have a few butter lumps, that's okay, because they're just going to melt once you get it on the stove. You just want to get this as incorporated as you can. Then we're just going to turn it into our pot. And we're going to cook this on the stove for about 10 to 12 minutes until it turns a golden brown color. And I've got it on kind of a medium-low heat, and all these little butter pieces are going to start melting. Now that we've got a nice golden brown color on our mixture, we're going to turn the flame off, and then we're just going to mix in our coconut and our pecan pieces. And then we're going to let the whole mixture set aside to cool off, and then we'll be filling our whoopie pies. Now I'm ready to assemble my whoopie pie. The pie is cooled off, and so has the filling. So I've cut this in half. We're just going to fill it with some of our German chocolate filling. And we're going to just spread it around a little bit. We will put just a little bit more on there. Then once I get the top on, which I'm going to invert, then I'm just going to pick this up, and I'm going to be rolling it in some red sprinkles, and they're going to stick nicely to the sticky part of the whoopie pie, which is the filling. So I'm just kind of rolling it in here like a wheel. And it's really so cute the way it's stuck on the filling like that. It's going to add some really nice color. And then I'm just going to put some ganache on the top. I'm just going to take my spoon to cover the whole top. We'll put a little bit more on so some kind of drips down the sides a little bit. And then we're going to top this with a maraschino cherry and a mint leaf. I've got a few extra cherries, so I'm just going to put them around the plate. And this is my German chocolate whoopie pie that I made with Janet Lee Scott's recipe for Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining me today, and bon appetit.